Welcome to the Rock Interview Series with host Thomas S. Orwatt Jr.
Welcome to episode number 54 of the Rock Interview Series. I'm Thomas Orwatt Jr. It is July 7th, 2022, and for this feature I have Sam Spade, vocalist, bass player of the glam sleaze power trio, the Midnight Devils. The Midnight Devils, who in addition to Spade, consist of Sniper on guitar and Jimmy Mess on drums, just released their second record, Never Beg For It, which was produced by Chip Znuff. Never Beg For It is an 11-track, high-energy assault influenced by some of the greatest pioneers of early glam rock and the Sunset Strip. Some of the standout tracks on this release include Sound of Domination, Highway 69, and White Line Fever. What follows is an exclusive interview with Sam Spade in which he talks about the formation of the Midnight Devils, the Never Beg For It release, and much, much more. Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 54 of the Rock Interview Series. Today we have a great special for you. We have Sam Spade, the bass player and vocalist of an exciting new power trio called the Midnight Devils with us today. Sam, how are you?
I'm doing incredible. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. I'm pretty excited to have you on today. I've been researching your band a lot. You just released a new record last Friday on July 1st, and it's like just an amazing record. 11 tracks, just like power, glam, glitter, all the good stuff. You know, a lot of, if you like hair metal or if you like glam rock, you're gonna absolutely love this record. But before we get into details about the record, why don't you catch up our viewers on how the band formed?
Yeah, the Midnight Devils, we've been around roughly 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I think we started in, the first record came out 2018. We started a few years before that, but we came out of the ashes of a hair metal band out of Omaha. Sniper and I played just kind of locally, regionally as a hair metal band, and we weren't satisfied with the direction the band was going. We thought, you know, we wanted to travel. The whole reason we got into this was to kind of see the world and to play rock and roll around the world. And the band was great. The songs were cool, but it just didn't scratch that itch that we had. So we decided, let's start a two-man acoustic group called the Midnight Devils, right? And we took this band, we did small town bars, playing covers, two-man acoustic, full hair, makeup, everything. I'm telling you, it was a scene. You'd walk into these dive bars and these old guys sitting at the bar drinking beer would just freak out. And go, what are these guys doing here? But it worked. And we got to a point where we're like, you know, kind of like Dylan, we're like, we have to go electric. We got a drummer. That drummer didn't work out. And we called Jimmy Mess out of Chicago. He said, yes, let's do this. We got Jimmy. We went down and did a tour to Rocklahoma. And on the way back, we just decided, you know what, this works. We get along. Let's see how far we can take this and see what we can actually accomplish if we put our heads together. And we signed up for the hard work, for the long hauls. And here we are today with 2 records under our belts, just released that Never Beg For It.
Yeah, your band is incredible too. Sniper, for instance, on guitar. I mean, he's a monster. I mean, he's obviously influenced by Van Halen, and I've been watching some live clips, and he's flawless on guitar. He's like a guitar hero. Yeah,
absolutely. What he does is he's one of those guys that, as good as he is, if you say, hey, could you play this song? He can play it. Like he hears it once and he can play it. But he's also the type of guy that's like a guitar collector and a fan. And really studies the art of playing guitar. And he'll sit there, even in our hotel rooms on days off, he'll sit there playing just for hours. And so he really holds Jimmy and I to a standard that he's set to where he's kind of the musical director of this band, you know, and as much fun as it is, as much as wild as the band is, you have to kind of make sure that you have your parts together, because you don't want to mess up on stage or else you get the wrath of Sniper. You know, he really holds us to a standard that we try and live up to every night. Great guitar player, the best guitar player I've ever met, my best friend, and it really just a guy that will push our limits, you know, musically, sonically. I love everything about it. He complements Jimmy and I very well.
In watching some of your live performances, I mean, the energy that your band has is undeniable. Have you ever thought of maybe just becoming the front man of the band and not being a bass player too? Because in watching it, it kind of like seems like, the bass kind of holds you back sometimes.
Yeah, we've thought about it. There's something really cool about a power trio, something really old school about that feeling, that three-man feeling. And we did, for the first time ever, really, on this last tour that we did with Pretty Boy Floyd, Chris Six, their bass player, jumped up on stage and played the single Highway 69 with us on bass, and I got the chance to just be the front man. And I did find it very liberating. I found it very cool. I also had trouble deciding what to do with my hands, like, because I'm so used to playing the bass. I love the feeling, but I feel like the bass makes sense to me, and I really compliment Sniper's guitar playing with my bass playing, which is, kind of hold back, give them the show, keep that rhythm going, and there's nothing real fancy going on there. I love playing bass. I think it kind of gives it this cool three-piece dynamic that's kind of missing,
Yeah, I mean, the one like I said, the one thing that when you watch your band play, I mean, the energy level is insane.
Yeah, and I tell everybody this. It's not that I'm forcing the energy or that we're forcing the energy, because it's not a work per se. I'm as excited as everybody else that we get to travel, that we get to step up on stage, that we get to put on the makeup and go up there and do what we love to do. That excites me at the end of the day. So I know going in that as soon as I walk up on stage, all eyes are going to be on us. And they're going to be like, what's going on? I know as soon as we walk out of the dressing room that all eyes are going to be on us. We're one of those bands, people told us that as soon as we walk out of the dressing room, we're going to keep asses in the seats. People are going to stay because they think it's either going to be really good or really bad, but they got to stay and find out. So I'm going to bring the heat every time and not necessarily prove them wrong, but give them a show. I want their phones to be in the air, videotaping, going, holy cow, look at these dudes. Look at these clowns running around like crazy. Girls going out wild. I love that. That feeling is just undeniable.
You opened for the Choir Boys. You just finished a tour with Pretty Boy Floyd and Enuff, the Glam Slam Metal Jam 2022. Yeah. You opened for Yngwie Malmsteen. Has there ever been a time where you've been told to tone it down a bit, so you don't steal the thunder from the headliners?
Not yet. It hasn't happened, and I don't foresee it happening. What I notice is that when we play, I can get a crowd real worked up, right? And so following us is a great thing because the crowd is already fired up. So when we would go on, we'd play the show, get the crowd all foaming at the mouth. They're just going crazy. They're ready now. They're ready to party. And then the band that would play after us, which would be Pretty Boy Floyd, they would have this wild, insane crowd already in the palm of their hands. So it's really a cool way to see it work, kind of that ebb and flow, the energy. And once you raise that energy through the roof, you're on like a collision course already. And I love that feeling. And I love seeing it play out with the headlining acts that follow us. Like, it's really cool. And I think it makes the older, not, I want to say older bands, but the bands that came before us, it makes them really bring their A game, because they don't want to seem anything less than what we just played on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you found it difficult to win over fans? Because I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people probably going to those shows, not knowing who the Midnight Devils are.
Absolutely. I see it every night. The first 2 or 3 songs is a war of attrition. We're in the trenches slugging it out. The first 2 or 3 songs, and if I feel like we can get them by the end of the second song. Our third song is always Panama by Van Halen. So I know going in, if we can win them on the first 2 songs by Panama, we're knocking them out. It's on right then. The party has begun by that third song. But yes, I feel like every show that we play in a new city at a new venue is us trying to win fans over. Not necessarily win fans over, but give them something that they never seen before, or they haven't seen in a long time. And kind of bring in the old school guys that love Van Halen, they love Kiss. They know exactly what we're doing. And then the new generation that just came to shake ass all night long. That's what we're really going for.
Yeah, it seems like now is a really great time for a band like the Midnight Devils, with the stadium tour, Motley Crue and
Mhm.
Poison, Def Leppard out there. It seems like there's a real resurgence of, glam metal, glam rock right now.
I would agree with you completely. I feel like it's people want a show, people want to feel that good time, and they know that this style of music lends itself to being as creative, as individual as you want, as unique. And that I think is really what's missing. We're not in any style. We don't have contemporaries. There's not any other band in the United States running around in a mini skirt and lipstick. Not anymore, right? So I feel like we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves there, but we can play with any band's metal, hard rock, classic rock, anything like that. And I think that the fans respect it. The people that come to shows, they want the energy. It's something that has been lacking in rock and roll, that pure fire and energy. And I think you're completely right with the stadium tour going out. It's just, but I also look at it like this: what happens when Def Leppard retires? What happens when Motley Crue retires? Who's coming up next? It's
Yeah,
us. We're right there.
I definitely think you have that possibility. Now you have a really big show coming up on July 14th, Rockfest
Yeah.
in Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah, huge. It's such a goal. I was just talking about this last night. It was such a huge goal of mine to get Rockfest, that almost like the pop of, you guys got the gig. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're the only glam band, I think, that's even on the bill. I was kind of looking at the flyer, and I was like, man, we're the only glam band that's kind of representing that style of music, that style of rock and roll that's on that bill. But it was such a huge goal of mine to get that thing, that I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled that we get to go to the dance. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a big, I don't want to say make or break, but I mean, if you guys go over really well, it could be a real turning point in your career.
Yeah, it was, and it's kind of like you add it to the list of cool things that we have done that I had not. When you're a kid, you always dream, okay, I want to play the Sunset Strip. Oh, I want to play Madison Square Garden. Well, we made it out to the Whiskey, and we did the Whiskey a couple times and just absolutely loved it. Dream come true. And so this was another one of those shows where we wanted Rockfest. So I emailed this guy day and night for like months, right? I did the hard work, and we landed it. And now we get to go and really prove ourselves to a bunch of people that haven't seen us, a bigger audience that hasn't seen us, and a diverse audience, people that are coming to see Five Finger Death Punch or Lamb of God, not necessarily glam rock fans, but rock and roll fans.
I'm sure you guys will go over really well, but then there's also the chance that, those people might just stare you down your entire performance too.
It's never happened yet. And that is the cool thing, is that I think people understand, and people see it, they see it and they go, these guys aren't, it's not fake. It's not a work. It's not a show. These guys are real life, from the heart, rock and roll. This is what it is. And I think that no matter what music you're into, no matter what styles it is, it's about that energy and feeling that love and that vibration. And it's worked. We've played with the heaviest bands you could imagine. Us floating around in lipstick and glitter, and it still works.
There was a 4-year period between your first record and your second record. I know COVID was probably a reason for this, but it must have been really aggravating for you after you released that first record, something bigger, and you had that momentum going, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, especially for a young band like the Midnight Devils.
Yeah, it was devastating for us because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where, but nobody else. So I'd been talking to a manager. Nobody else knew what to do either. And this manager told us that, look, the playing field has been evened. You're on the same level as Kiss. Everybody's sitting at home right now. Kiss is sitting at home. You're sitting at home. So what are you going to do? COVID's going to end eventually. Who knows when, but that you have to keep engaging your fans and keep engaging people and reminding them that you're out there. So that's exactly what we did. I didn't let up steam. We just kept posting on social media every day, 3 times a day, every day. We're doing live videos, updates about the new record. And for as devastating as COVID was, it really gave us that opportunity to go to Chicago to do this record with Chip and not have any bound, like anything holding us back, like shows or tours or anything like that. So as much as COVID really sucked the wind out of us, it moved us in the direction that brought us to this point today.
How did you end up having Chip Znuff producer record, the new record that just came out?
Yeah, it was such a cool thing. And I'm telling you, this is like dream come true stuff. And I kind of feel that every time we're hanging out with Chip. But our drummer, Jimmy, lived with Chip. So we kind of knew each other already. And we'd been doing shows as a Chicago band. You know, Enuff's a Chicago band. We're an Omaha and Chicago band. We just started doing all these shows together and found out, like, you know, we're best friends with Enuff. All the guys in our band get along. We hang out days off on tour. We'll go out and party with Chip. And he just goes, bro, I want to do your record. And we're like, yes, absolutely. What are you going to say? No, I don't want you to do it. No, it wasn't even in the question. We said, yes, Chip, let's do this record. And because of us saying yes, they kind of pushed us towards working more with the booking agency, Artists Worldwide. And Artists Worldwide, Chuck at Artists Worldwide, hooked us up with Tim at Pavement Music. So it's like this whole big family of dudes and guys that we work with now that just stemmed from working with Chip. And we didn't know going in what to even expect, but we showed up at his doorstep in Blue Island, Illinois. And within a week we had, you know, all the tracks done and everything was kind of moving forward just off of that. It was really that simple. I mean, we did the work in Omaha with the demos, the songwriting, but then when we got to Blue Island, it was like bang, 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 bang. And we kind of had a record done within a matter of weeks.
Yeah. What was it like working with Chip as a producer, and what kind of influence did he have on, did he have any influence on the sound of the band or direction
Absolutely.
of any of the songs?
Yeah, working with Chip, I respect Chip so much. And going into it, we knew, you know, okay, this guy sold 1 million records, right? Fly High Michelle, new thing, like it's a big deal. It still is a big deal. So going in, I knew kind of like we had to be on our A game. We had to bring him good songs, big choruses, and what we brought to him, he kind of tweaked a little bit, and he really simplified everything. So with the drums, he goes, Jimmy, play no fills at all. Play it exactly like Ringo Starr would play it, just straight through. And I was like, oh, is he kidding me with this? Like, we're just going to play no fills? And then we listen back. And I'm like, it sounds so good. How did he know? And then we would, like, after we recorded the records, they'd send us like the rough mixes and stuff like that. And it had this Chicago power pop sound just written all over it. It sounded like Cheap Trick. It sounded like REO Speedwagon. It sounded like, you're just like, man, this is so cool. He sang backup vocals on it. You know, it really brought a power and a power, I guess, for lack of a better word, a power pop sensibility to kind of this Midnight Devils thing that we already had going on.
Yeah, a lot of bands struggle with their second record, the sophomore jinx, they call it.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Yeah, you guys definitely brought it to the next level, and you know, between the two records, I mean, I definitely feel that this one's the stronger of the two, and not against the first record. And I'm sure, you know, you have had 4 years. You know, a lot of bands don't have that much time, I guess. What is the writing process like for the Midnight Devils?
We went in, so when you break it all the way down, it was like, I'll sit here on this couch and we'll kind of I'll write songs, lyrics, riffs, whatever, but I'm not really the guitar guy. Obviously it's Sniper, right? So I'll be like, Sniper, I kind of have this idea of the song. Here's the 3 chords that I had picked out. And he goes, cool, no problem. And it's like, you know, we got this incredible riff, this faster than lightning guitar thing. So we'll take that song from this couch, go to Sniper's house, we'll go to the basement, and we recorded it with like a drum sampling machine, right? So I could sample the drums and we get the ideas. Then we enlisted a studio drummer to help us record the demos in Omaha. And we sent all those demos to Chicago for Jimmy and Chip to listen to. And that's really where it came from, where it started and where it ended. The songs are really written about it's true stuff that we see on the road, stuff that we experience, whether it's good or bad, girls, boys, anything like that. They're all really true experiences. So when we sing the songs every night, I kind of think back to who these songs were written about, what the story is. but they're all really cool stories that happen to us, but they're accessible to anybody no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the new record, I Never Beg For It. The first single from it is Highway 69, which is a great song. But interestingly, your first video that you released from it isn't that song. It's Working for the Weekend by a cover of Loverboy. Why did you just decide to do that?
Chip was, when we went in, we did the whole 10 songs, right? We recorded 10 songs. We're sitting at his house. And as you know, Chip has like these velvet, if you imagine in your mind, lives in this house in Illinois. He's got these velvet couches that everybody just kind of sits around, and there's this coffee table. You sit around the coffee table drinking coffee. He's got these joints that are this long, he's smoking these joints. He goes, bro, the record company, they want a cover. I'm going to need you guys to come in tomorrow with a cover ready to roll. And we look at each other, we're like, you want us to get a cover to lay down on record that's going to be there forever, that we don't even know, we've never played it before. So we're like, what are we going to do? And we're sitting there flipping through. He's flipping through MTV, flipping through. We couldn't find a song. So we're driving around to Chicago. We go to get a hot dog at this place called The Hat in Chicago, and Working for the Weekend comes on. We're like, that's it. That's the one right there. Perfect. It's done. You know, we're not even, and so we brought it in, and Chip's like, I love it, bro. It's perfect. It's perfect. And we'd already done all this art with Chris Farley as like a pink devil, right? And so it just it was just a natural thing where Chris Farley, the pink devil, Working for the Weekend, the whole thing just was really, it was really an organic thing that worked out in our favor, I thought.
Yeah, the video is very lighthearted compared to the very first video that you put out from the Something Bigger one for the song Pink Halo. Now that's a pretty dark video.
It was actually meant to be a whole joke, you know, like the girl was doing, all the drugs were glitter, you know. It's like she was doing glitter, and that was the whole concept behind the video. I don't know that it got taken that way, because my mom called me up and she's like, what are you guys doing, drugs on video on YouTube? I can't believe it. I go, no, it's not drugs, it's glitter. It's a joke. We're playing jokes. The whole idea of this band is to not take ourselves so seriously that it's not fun anymore. So many bands out there are so serious and into themselves, where we're not. We're into the music, we're into the party, we're into that feel good energy. And I think that really translates to the videos, to the songs. Like we laugh, so we want to make people laugh. And I think the band that really was like brought it to our attention was the Foo Fighters. As weird as that is, their first couple videos, you're like, I like these guys. These guys are funny. I think I could be friends with these guys.
Yeah,
that was the whole idea.
Yeah, I do admit I'm kind of like, you know, your mom in that way, because when I watch it, I say, wow, this is a really dark video. But yeah, I mean, then, you know, after a couple of times, like, oh yeah, it is glitter. It's glitter,
yeah.
But it was kind of, I'll be honest, it was kind of lost on me the first few times.
Yeah.
I didn't saw. So are you planning on doing a proper video for Highway 69?
Actually, yes. And I'm so excited for this to come out. But right now, Paul from the Choir Boys, the guitar player of the Choir Boys, is working on the video. And it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a proper video as much as it's going to be a live video. So what we did was, when we were on tour with the Choir Boys, those guys are so good about taking video of everything. Like they'll just rolling down the road, they're taking video, you know, and I think, well, they're from England, they haven't seen the United States, but they just took video of everything. So on a whole tour, I sat next to Paul in the van, right? He was my bench mate, if you will. And I go, Paul, do you think you could line up a video for Highway 69? And he's like, I would love to, mate. I would love to. So right now he is working on that video, and I think it should be done within the next week or two. But that is going to coincide. The Highway 69 video is going to coincide with us releasing a Highway 69 vinyl single.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, because that's kind of where my head's at. Like, okay, if we release this video to help, you know, kind of raise awareness that we have this really cool vinyl single. It's going to be an etched vinyl with our faces on one side and the songs on the other.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. The one thing I like about the band is you have some really cool looking artwork, you know, for your posters and for your covers and that.
I've always been, and you can even, I know you'll understand this, but I love the imagery. And when bands really take that imagery to another level, say with Kiss, say with the Misfits, you know, kind of those old Metallica posters. I think they call it like the pus head posters.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And we've been so blessed to have incredible artists around us. But the one that's really, there's a couple that are just destroying the place, which one is Livy Ulrichs from here in Lincoln, who's been doing a drawings. She draws on her tablet and has been doing a drawing for every song on the record. And the drawings that she comes out with, she goes, do you have any direction you want me to go? And I go, I don't have any direction at all. Like, I love the way you think about it. It's these devils that kind of take on a human form as their normal everyday human beings doing whatever they do. But it's these devils that you can kind of see the evil, but you can kind of feel the human in them. You know, I love that. And it lends us to be able to do whatever we want. So you almost turn it into like a cartoon thing, very Kiss-like. You kind of turn it into a comic book, but it gives us the freedom to expand in any direction that we want to, not just this world, but it's like you can expand in the art world. And there's another artist, Yuko out of Japan, who's been drawing us, you know, she'll freehand draw these incredible pieces of us playing live or just doing whatever, that I'm just like, I'm blown away by the way this band lends itself to that form of medium, I guess.
What do you plan on releasing as the next single?
Nobody's asked me that yet. I don't even know.
I mean, I think Sound of Domination would probably be.
That's probably what it's going to be. Because that song we just put into our live set for this Pretty Boy Floyd Enuff's Enough tour, and brilliant enough, we've never played the song live. We never rehearsed the song, and we got there to sound check the very first night, Columbus, Ohio. We're like, okay, Sound of Domination, let's give it a try. Make sure you know your parts. All right, here we go. Played it at sound check. Boom, it worked great. Like we pulled it off. Chip's up there singing the song, and I go, okay, we got something now. So it was our opening song for the rest of the tour. We never practiced it once. I think you're completely right. I think Sound of Domination is probably going to be the one.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, the record is so strong. I mean, you could pick pretty much any song, and you know, for a single. Like I think Glitter Connection is another great song on there. White Line Fever is a good song, I think. I mean, you got a lot to choose from there. I'm assuming you're not going to wait 4 years to release your follow-up for this one.
we talked about it already on the last trip we were on. We were driving home from the tour going, well, we have this tour. We're out all summer long, and then we got October and then November, and I think we stopped playing shows in mid-November. I go, well, it kind of lends itself perfectly. You know, the timing's right. Being in from the Midwest, we take the winters off because it's too tough to travel. So I'm like, okay, we got to start writing and recording a new record come November, December, and hopefully have it ready to go by the next tour cycle.
Back to the stadium tour is that there's a new band called Classic Act, which is playing before Joan Jett, and they're going on really early. I think they're only playing for 20 minutes, and you know, the show starts early enough as it is. So I mean, you know, as you can imagine, there's, you know, not many people in the arena, in the stadium at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But would you consider taking a slot like that just for the prestige of it?
Yeah, I think it's the coolest thing ever. And I don't have much contact with those guys. Like I've been kind of like everybody else, just kind of catching up on them. But I know they put out a really cool video. Their songs are great. They're another high energy band that really, I could say that, you know, contemporaries of ours, a high energy rock and roll band that really brings you back to the old school ways, but it's very new and modern. And I love that about them. It's like, you know, guys our age, guys and girls our age that are out there, and they're on the biggest tour in rock and roll history, you know, on that stadium tour. And I've read interviews where they're like, how did you get this gig? And they go, right place, right time, and a whole lot of luck. And that's exactly what this is that, you know, we know we have to work hard for what we do, and we're ready to work hard. We love touring so much, but it's all about that luck, that right place, right time. And of course, I would take that gig in a heartbeat. 20 minutes. We were doing 35 to 40 on the last tour. So like, I get it, but that's part of it. And you see you know, whether it be Van Halen opening for Black Sabbath or Kiss opening for Mountain or whatever, all these bands, like you see that kind of rise, that climb, but you see history repeating itself, if you will. And you go, oh, I can see exactly where this is going. It's the same thing that happened 20, 30 years ago.
Before we end the interview, why don't you tell the viewers where they can pick up the new record or any type of merchandise that they want from the Midnight Devils?
Yeah, we're a very social media friendly band. Social media has helped us so much. And I think the band's imagery, like we talked about, really lends itself to social media. So you can hit us up. We got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. Easy to find us, themidnightdevils.com. You can download any of our music. We're on all the streaming platforms. You can buy our CDs at themidnightdevils.com. And we sign everything. Everything ships from my house to yours.
All right. It sounds good. Sam, I want to thank you very much for your time, and best of luck on the road. You have some great gigs coming up. I forgot to mention this one, but on the 30th of July, you're going to be opening up for Slaughter. Yeah,
it's the Kiss connection right there. I'm so excited about this. The Vinnie Vincent Invasion boys, Slaughter. What a massively huge band, and I know it's going to be a sellout. St. Louis, going to be just a crazy night.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Sam, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the road, man.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Bye.